What is good, everybody? It's BBK Dragoon, and welcome back to my Warframe Beginner's Guide, preparing for Fortuna. This is part 3. Let's just get right into it. Thanks for the wait. If you guys missed episode 2, it was all about stuff to get done for the more advanced players, a roadmap of what we're going to be doing. So let's rewind the clock here. Earth. In part 1, I told you guys about getting to the Venus Junction and trying to complete the specific aspects for this. So hopefully you've been going through Earth and completing the blinking blue nodes. I wanted to point out a couple of things. The first of all, Cetus. You're going to notice very early on that this node is blinking blue and it wants to go here. This is the plains of Eidolon. And for whatever reason, Digital Extremes decided that they wanted new players to interact with the plains very early on in their experience. However, this can be really confusing. So if you're a brand new player, the Plains of Eidolon was an open world expansion to Warframe that came out last October. And it really is geared more towards more advanced players who have better mods and have been playing the game for some time. So it does kind of throw you in the mix of things, and you kind of land in the Plains and you're like, what am I supposed to do? But I'll simplify it. You're going to head over to this vendor right here, and you're going to pick up this introductory little, what would you call it, bounty or something, that's going to have you enter the Plains and kill a few Grineer enemies, and then you're going to head back. You can spend as much time as you want out here in the Plains right now, but don't let it be a stumbling point. The real goal right now is to continue through the star chart. So with that said, hit up Cetus, finish that node, do the short little bounty that they have out here, and then get back onto the star chart grind. This can definitely be a stumbling block for a lot of new players. I also wanted to mention last time I talked about defeating 3 Eximus enemies on Earth. Eximus enemies are higher level enemies that have a chance to spawn the deeper you get into endless wave-based missions. So your, excavations, the survivals, the defenses. And I mentioned if you stick around for a defense node until 15 or 20 waves, these guys will start spawning. I wanted to mention that I've had better success over on the Everest node doing excavation, finding Eximus enemies here. And by that I mean, by the time you get to wave 20 on the defense node on Earth, it's probably going to be a little bit difficult. And if you haven't been modding your frame, or let's say you're still very low rank with the frame and you don't have a lot of slots for mods, it can be tough to actually stay long enough in there for the Eximus enemies to be something you can tackle. Whereas on Everest, the excavation gives you a lot more play space, a lot more real estate to work with. And so by the time that you do start seeing these guys show up, which for me was 12 to 13, or maybe it was a little more. I think it was closer to like 13 and 14 dig sites excavated. That's when I started seeing Eximus enemies. And you know they're Eximus because they actually have it in their name. They're going to be a little bit harder to defeat. They're fairly easy to see, and they're not difficult to miss. I think I said that weird. They're easy to see is what I'm saying. So excavation, Everest, I think, like I said, around 14 dig sites excavated. 13 and 14 is when I started seeing those. So you're going to be in the node for a good 10-15 minutes before these guys start showing up. And then all you need to do is when you exit the mission and complete it, remember, you need to complete the mission. So don't just kill them. You still have to extract. You still need to get back to the green waypoint and get out of there with your team. I do recommend doing that one with other players, especially at these lower levels. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to get through there. The next thing to mention is obviously Vores Prize. This is going to be completed just by beating the blinking blue nodes that I have mentioned, and that's going to be your first experience of a boss fight in Warframe. Not too terribly difficult, and should be self-explanatory. Also, by the time your frame reaches, I think, rank 6 or 7, you should have the ability to have your first mastery rank test. I specifically didn't talk about mastery ranking last time because it's simple but complicated at the same time for new players. So I'm going to read from the wiki to explain it as clearly as possible and then give my insights on it, right? So mastery ranking is a method of tracking a player's relative progress of how much of the game's total content they have experienced, with points earned by ranking up your warframes, your weapons, your companions, your arcwings to rank 30 through affinity, and also successfully completing junctions and nodes on the star chart. Higher mastery ranks will give you access to more unlockable weapon blueprints, warframes, and mods, especially the Syndicate and Riven mods. It will increase your daily trading limit by 1. It increases the starting base mod capacity of unranked Warframes, companions, arcwings, and weapons, increases extractor deployment, increases or raises the maximum void trace capacity, and raises the daily maximum focus points. A bunch of stuff that we're going to learn about later. But basically, here's the deal. Mastery rank shows other players how many of the game's weapons, frames, companions, arcwings have you leveled up. So when you take your Warframe, let's say from rank 1 to rank 30, you are accumulating affinity for that. That affinity goes towards your mastery rank. You can find this on your profile or in the upper left-hand corner. By completing blinking blue nodes, you accumulate affinity, and by completing junctions, you also accumulate affinity. When you rank up a weapon, you accumulate affinity for doing that. It's important to note, however, let's say I rank up Excalibur 1 to 30, I am not going to get any more affinity if I rank up and, like, let's say I build another Excalibur and I rank him up again. I'm not going to get that affinity again. It really is a way to show how much of the game you have experienced and ranked up. And when you have hit a threshold, you can take a mastery rank test in order to be eligible and get your upgrade to the next mastery rank. What we're really aiming for, like I mentioned in the first video, is to hit mastery rank 2 so we can build the Boltor. As a few of you pointed out in the comments, build whatever you want. I'm really not trying to railroad you. Play this game however you want to play. Try all the guns. You're going to be ranking up a ton of weapons anyway in this game, and lots of them are viable. But I am trying to structure the guide series to where we're going to get the Boltor together, build the Boltor when we hit Mastery Rank 2. And by the time you reach Venus, you should have taken your first Mastery Rank test, succeeded. They're very easy for beginning. Note, if you do fail, I think you have to wait 24 hours or something before you can take your Mastery Rank test. Something like that. There's some time penalty. I don't think I've ever failed one, so I'm not sure. But by the time we reach Venus, you should probably be about halfway through Mastery Rank 1, and during Venus, you're going to hit Mastery Rank 2. All right, so at this point, we have now collected our 20 mods. We have defeated the 3 Eximus enemies on Earth. We've applied 4 mods to a single Warframe or a weapon. And last but not least, we need to upgrade any mod to rank 2 or higher through the fusion process. So let's go down and do that. So I'm just going to take my Vitality mod here, and I'm going to run it up. I think I'll probably take it to rank 4 for right now. Apply the fusion. Yep. And there we go. We are now ready to go after our very first junction. So once you've sufficed or completed all the requirements for the junction, you're just going to press it. We're going to go in here, and each one of these is kind of like a mini little boss fight where you're going to fight a frame. And they are viciously easy for a very long time. You're not going to run into a real challenge with these for a good long while. So we'll come in here, and we'll confront him. I'll use my second ability here, and we'll use ability number 1. You can obviously shoot him, but if you want to just blind him, ability number 2 is a good way to go. Hi, Rhino. And these, you can attempt these as many times as you want. And with that, we're good. So we now get to activate the junction. Look at his foot. That's funny. Oh my goodness. All right, and with that, guys, welcome to Venus, the next planet that we get to drive and play around with. All right, so I've decided to hop on my main account here so that I can actually show you guys how to do the Mercury Junction, which is the next step on our journey here. The first thing that you're going to start doing is just clearing out the blue nodes that will allow access to the other mission nodes that are here on the planet. The first thing that we really, main thing we're going to be working towards is beating the Jackal, who is on the node Fossa. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a second. You're also going to do your first hostage mission on Linnea. And then finally, defeat 10 Eximus enemies on Venus. I've mentioned previously interception and defense missions. You know, the endless mission types are usually really good ways to find Eximus enemies. On Ishtar, Eximus enemies, I believe, can spawn. But again, your best bet is to just hop into one of those endless mission types, defense, excavation, survival, etc. And the longer you stay, the higher chance of those Eximus enemies spawning. So with that said, let's go hop in and beat the Jackal. And by the way, I've put on a Boltor so that I can maybe hopefully kind of match what you guys are going to be playing with. This will look the exact same strategy if you're using the MK1 Bratton. I think it's the MK1 Bratton. And to everybody telling me to beat the sacrifice, I know I need to record on this account my reaction for doing that quest. So chill. Cool your jets. All right, so here's the Jackal. The way this boss fight works is you're going to shoot one of his legs until you break the leg, and then we get to shoot the head, and the head will take damage. This fight will be easier if you play it with a squad, but I also respect and understand if you want to go through all this content solo to begin with. All right, so we're going to start by shooting one of his arms. He'll shoot a little shockwave that you can jump up here. And once we've taken down one of his arms, he'll end up falling down, and we can shoot his face. So his right arm, do you see how the health is getting lower? We'll keep jumping that. And the right arm's almost down. And we'll just keep shooting it. Oh, I missed my jump on that. Keep blasting him. Come on. Alright, now we can shoot his head when he falls down like this. Just blast his head. You'll notice he's finally taking some damage. Short little damage wave, and so next we'll do the left arm. Okay, his leg's almost down again. Oh, out of ammo. You can also use a melee weapon to down his legs. It's just obviously tougher while he's doing this. It's a little bit more annoying. But since my teammate's in here, I'll go in there and help out. His right leg's down, his head's down, and there you go. That is how you beat him. Now, the longer it takes, obviously, the less ammo that you're going to have accessible to you, so the best bet scenario is that you have teammates who kind of understand the flow of the fight to get it done as quickly as possible. If you have people who are just going to keep shooting him in the head, even though he's invulnerable in the head at that time, then the fight's going to take a little bit longer, kind of like this one did. Oh yeah, Trinity Prime is the new giveaway frame, isn't it? Back in my day, boys, it was a Frost Prime. It's an interesting choice that they give Trinity now a support frame to players. I feel like giving Frost Prime to people was ridiculous. Like, that frame can get through so much of the Star Trek, whereas Trinity's a really cool frame, don't get me wrong. You build it right, it's awesome, but it's one of those frames that I think encourages you to play with other people. For sure. Like, definitely one of those frames that encourages you to play with other people. This waypoint's screwed up. Oh, no, the waypoint's not screwed up. I'm screwed up. All right, and that is how you defeat the Jackal at Fossa. From there, the rest are very easy to take care of. Complete 10 waves of defense at Tessera on Venus in a single mission. And we already went through the Eximus thing. If you just stay in the defense mission for like wave 20 onward, you're going to have a high chance of those Eximus enemies spawning. But also, as I mentioned earlier in today, the excavation missions are, I think, maybe an easier way to take care of those Eximus enemies. And then from there, we're going to progress on to Mercury. And Mercury, the game starts picking up a little bit further, and we're going to start talking more about crafting and probably building our first Warframe. So thanks very much for watching. I will be back as soon as possible. If you enjoyed, please thumbs the video up, subscribe for more. Anything that I missed or you think I could have explained better, throw it in the comments. The veterans of this game are awesome, as I regularly say, so check it out down there. Thanks very much. Have a good day, and I'll check in with you again next time.